I've been there. You spot a cheap-look patio set online, it's under $200, you click add to cart, and a week later the table wobbles, the chairs crack the first time you sit down, and you're stuck with a garden that looks more like a construction site than a weekend oasis. The regret that follows is why I always pause before grabbing the lowest priced option. So the question is, does the Purple Leaf 5-piece outdoor dining set feel like a smarter buy? Or is it just another bargain that will leave you wishing you'd spent a little more? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first started researching a set for my own backyard, I made a list of the things that matter most after the first summer: how the material holds up to rain and UV, whether the cushions stay flat and don't become a soggy mess, and how easy the whole thing is to put together without turning the weekend into a hardware store marathon. The Purple Leaf set checks most of those boxes on paper, but the real test is how it behaves once you actually pull it out of the box and set it on a concrete slab or a wooden deck. The set arrives in a fairly compact package: a flat-pack table, 4 chairs, a set of cushions, and a handful of screws and an Allen key. The assembly instructions are printed on glossy paper, and the steps are laid out with clear diagrams rather than dense paragraphs. Most people I've spoken to say they can have it assembled in under an hour, and that matches my experience. The ergonomic design of the frame means the legs slot into place with a simple push-in motion, and the only real fiddling comes from tightening the bolts on the chair backs. If you're comfortable with a basic screwdriver, you won't need a professional. Now, the material. Purple Leaf markets this as PE Rattan, which is essentially woven polyethylene that mimics the look of traditional rattan without the susceptibility to rot. In my own tests, the weave stayed intact after a month of weekly rainstorms and a scorching July sun. The gray color stayed muted rather than fading to a washed-out pastel, which is a common complaint with cheaper synthetic wicker. The premium material claim isn't just marketing fluff. The polyethylene doesn't become brittle in the cold either, so if you have a fall frost that drops below freezing, the chairs still flex a little without cracking. The cushions are another focal point. They're made from a soft foam core wrapped in a water-resistant fabric. After 2 weeks of outdoor use, the cushions held their shape. They didn't sag in the middle of the seat, which is what I've seen with lower-priced sets that use cheap polyester stuffing. When you first unroll them, there's a pleasant plush feel that makes you want to sit immediately, but they don't stay overly soft in hot weather. In a sunny spot, they become firmer, which actually improves support rather than turning into a sticky pad. The downside is that the cushion covers aren't removable for machine washing. You can spot clean them with a damp cloth, but a full wash will require a trip to a laundromat and a gentle cycle, which might be a nuisance for people who like to keep their outdoor furniture pristine. Design-wise, the set leans toward an elegantly simple aesthetic. The gray tone works with a wide range of garden decor, from modern concrete patios to more rustic wooden decks. The low-profile table, at about 30 inches tall, is tall enough for most adult diners but still allows a clear line of sight across the table, making conversation easy. The chairs have a subtle curve that cradles the hips, a detail you only notice once you sit and stay a while. It's not a flamboyant, over-the-top look, which means it won't clash with a future upgrade to a pergola or a fire pit. Who should consider buying this set? If you have a modestly sized dining area, think a square of about 8 by 8 feet, and you plan to use the space regularly for family meals, weekend brunches, or even an occasional home office setup in the fresh air, this set hits a sweet spot. It offers enough seats for 4 people plus a table that comfortably holds a platter, a pitcher, and a couple of plates without feeling cramped. The ergonomic chair design also makes it suitable for older adults who need a little more lumbar support than a basic plastic chair can give. And if you live in a climate that swings between hot summers and mild winters, the PE Rattan will stay resilient without the need for seasonal storage. On the other hand, if you're looking for a set that can handle a large party of 8 to 10 guests, you'll quickly outgrow the 4-chair configuration. The table surface is 48 inches long, which is generous for a family of 4 but tight for a bigger crew. Likewise, if you love swapping cushions for different colors or patterns each season, you'll miss the fact that the cushion covers aren't designed for quick changes.